How would you answer if someone asked you, do you need to be spiritually balanced? What would you say? Yes, no, maybe so. What do you think? Well, today that's what I'm going to discuss. And the simple answer is yes, we need to be spiritually balanced. And I'm going to examine 3 ways we should look at being spiritually balanced. Today's episode is being brought to you by Sugarcane Sweet Shop. This is the Grateful Gab Podcast. I'm Grateful Dave. Got the daily verse coming here shortly. And then we'll be looking into see how we all can be spiritually balanced. Daily verse for the day of December 7th, 2025 derives from the book of Joshua, chapter 1, verse 8. And it states as follows. This book of the law should not depart from your mouth, and you must read it in an undertone day and night, in order to observe carefully all that is written in it. For then your way will be successful, and then you will act wisely. Amen. It's well said in the book of Joshua, chapter 1, verse 8. So, as always, I love how the daily texts give a little bite-sized nugget of information based on a topic that I'm going to cover today, right? And of course, when we're spiritually balanced, we have to have a good spiritual routine, as Joshua 1:8 points out, right? We must read Jehovah's book, right? The book of law, the book of life, right? How we have been instructed accordingly to our Creator to live, right? We must read it in an undertone day and night, observe it carefully, and we will be successful and we will become wise. So that's just one piece of being spiritually balanced, which I'm not going to discuss today, being a part of the 3 things we need to do to make sure we're spiritually balanced. But where it kind of does fall into the last uh, topic, and those 3 things is going to be soundness in mind, avoid extremes, and put God first no matter what. So those are going to be the 3 things I'm going to be looking into today of how we can stay spiritually balanced, right? This is something that we all have to keep in mind, right? This is something we all have to keep in mind as we look to uh, engage into, or as we gauge into the coming times, right? The times we live in now, and the tribulations that have yet to come, right? The future and what is on the way here. So again, the first thing, being sound in mind, is a key factor in us staying spiritually balanced. From the book of First Peter, chapter 4, verse 7, brings out, and it says, "But the end of all things has drawn close. Therefore, be sound in mind and be vigilant with a view to prayers." So, these things were foretold or prophesied way before our time, right? But here, Peter is acknowledging that we need to keep a soundness in mind as the end of this system draws near. And we, of anybody the Bible has ever been given to, we are the people that are closest to the end times of this wicked system, right? So our mind has to be in tune. All right, we have to be in a place of level-headedness, right? In a place of understanding, in a place of awareness, as he also mentions here, be vigilant during these times. Satan is constantly trying to manipulate the mind. That's the place where Satan has the most influence of imperfect humans, is in the mind, right? Because the mind and the heart coexist together. And it allows us to feed our heart, allows us to be manipulated, and our mind, our brain, focuses and is the central system of our doing things, right? So why is it urgent to be sound in mind? Well, let's take an example here with Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ sent on the Mount of Olives, again having a private conversation with his disciples. He mentioned, and this is found in Matthew chapter 24, verse 42. He told them, "Keep on the watch, therefore, because you do not know on what day your Lord is coming." His followers must be constantly alert because the time of his coming is unknown. They must be ever ready for it. And again, the keep on the watch, therefore, because you do not know what day your Lord is coming, can be found in Matthew chapter 24, verse 42. Well, what does that mean for us? Again, we are the closest humans who are living, who are close. We are the human population that are the closest to the last days, right? When this was spoken 2,000 years ago, Jesus knew that the not the angels, that Satan's system was not close, because Jesus had not even ascended to heaven again. He had not ascended to his rightful place as king of Jehovah's kingdom. So he was not there to throw Satan out of heaven yet. But Jesus knew that we, as the people during these times, had to heed these words, right? So if us as Christians are to think that on a certain day Christ would not come, perhaps that will be the very day that he did come. So if we ever fall off our course, the day we fall off our course could be the day of Jesus' return. So we can't predict when he would come, right? Just as he told us. Concerning the day or hour, nobody knows, neither the angels of the heavens nor the Son, but only the Father knows. Only Jehovah knows. So we have to constantly be on alert, constantly be aware, constantly be sound in mind, be vigilant, looking for the signs of Jesus' return. Are you enjoying today's episode? This episode of the Grateful Gab Podcast is proudly sponsored by Sugarcane Sweet Shop. At Sugarcane Sweet Shop, every dessert is made with love, creativity, and a sprinkle of sweetness. From the signature cookies and cupcakes to custom cakes for every occasion, Sugarcane is available to make your moments a little more special. Follow them on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook at Sugarcane Sweet Shop to see what's fresh from the oven. And don't forget to treat yourself today. And we can see it around us as this system gets worse and worse. It could be today, tomorrow, like I said before, 1,000 years, 100 years from now, who knows when. But we have to be on alert. We have to keep our spiritual health intact, right? Don't fall off because, oh, I've been working out, I've been exercising the faith so long, but I haven't seen any results. No, don't do that. Be sound in mind. Our next thing is avoid extremes. Right? Again, we live in an extreme world, and that's an understatement. Everywhere you turn, there is something in front of us that can pull us away from Jehovah. Everywhere we turn, right? As mentioned in Psalms chapter 89, verse 14, it says, "Righteousness and justice are the foundation of your throne. Loyal love and faithfulness stand before you." So us as Jehovah's people, we know what Jehovah is made up of, right? Just as it mentions here in Psalms 89:14, we know the foundation is built on righteousness and justice. That's the foundation of Jehovah's throne. That's what he embodies and he represents wholeheartedly, right? Also mentioned, loyal love and faithfulness stand before you. The ones who serve him stand in that manner. Stand in loyal love and stand in faithfulness. So knowing that we love Jehovah, we want to be able to do our best to uh, be righteous in his eyes and uphold justice just the same way he looks at it, well, we have to be able to avoid the things he hates. So that means, and that entails having a balanced attitude toward work, right? Not trying to work for slave for riches, right? And slave for Jehovah, right? We can't do that. We can't serve two masters, right? I mean, avoiding extreme views of pleasure, right? Um, it speaks about the times we live in. All right, Second Timothy chapter 3, verses 2 through 4, right? Speak about for men will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boastful, haughty, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, disloyal, right? So many things that we see today, we see it here. We see these things, right? Also, he speaks about uh people will have no natural affection, not open to any agreement, slanderers, without self-control, fierce, without love of goodness, betrayers, headstrong, puffed up with pride, lovers of pleasures rather than lovers of God. These are the attitudes we see today. And we have to do our best to avoid them by all means, because when we come to stand in front of Jehovah, we want to be those ones who come and stand in front of him with loyal love and come and stand in him with come stand in front of him with faithfulness. Right? We don't want to be the ones who have been uh, manipulated and who have had the peer pressure put on them from the world of having a different view of money, right? Having a worldly view of money, having a worldly view of pleasures, right? Having these type of things, right? And when we do that, we're able to find happiness in a balanced life, right? Because we're going to stumble, just as James chapter 3, verse 2 brought out. For we all stumble many times. If anyone does not stumble in the word, he is a perfect man, able to brittle also his whole body. And none of us are that. None of us are perfect human beings. So we are going we are going to stumble, right? But knowing that when we in the instance where we are bound to stumble, right? This time for reflection. It's time for us to recognize what we're strong, what strengths we have, and what weaknesses we have, right? And again, it's not easy. It's not easy to always analyze ourselves and say, "Well, I'm good at this. I'm bad at that." We don't always know. That's where relying on Jehovah comes in, right? Prayer, meditation, reading of His words, and that helps us to be able to stay on a wise course and make wise decisions, right? Staying close to mature Christians, right, and listen to balanced advice, as Galatians chapter 6 verse 1 brings out, brothers. Even if a man takes a false step before he is aware of it, you who have spiritual qualifications try to readjust such a man in a spirit of mildness. But keep an eye on yourself for fear you too may be tempted. Right? We have to be able to bring along others and help them out, but again, be aware of our strengths and weaknesses so that we won't fall snared. We won't fall snared in a trap laid before us by Satan. So again, soundness in mind, avoid extremes. And now, of course, most importantly, when we think about all those 2 points we covered, putting Jehovah first. Right? Well, when we put Jehovah first, just as it mentioned in uh Joshua 1:8, we're gonna be in our Bible every day, all day. Right? We're going to uh not allow Jehovah's words to depart from our minds, our hearts, right? We're going to keep his words on our tongues, right? We're going to continue to read it in the undertone day and night. We're going to observe carefully the things he spoke to us through in his word. We're going to pray about it, right? We're going to ask for understanding. We're going to apply so we can be successful. We're going to apply so we can act wisely. We can make wise decisions when we're avoiding extremes. All right, we're going to be successful when we're looking to stay on the watch and be prepared for Jehovah's kingdom to come. Right, because we're going to stay focused on making sure we're growing daily with Jehovah God. Right, and there's other ways that we are going to tap on here briefly about what we can do to continue to put God first. Right, make meetings. Right, as Hebrews brings out, don't forsake meeting with one another. Right, meet with our brothers and sisters. Go out into the ministry. Right, what's another thing I'm looking forward to? Offer Bible studies. Right, offer Bible studies. Do family worship, right? Give Jehovah your best through means of your service, through your family, through the loved ones we have, right? So many different ways that we can be able to put God first. Pray constantly, as First Thessalonians 5:17 points out. All right, so many things. Continue to give a witness. Continue to seek first the kingdom of God, just as Jesus Christ put out in Matthew 6:33. And when we continue to do that, when we continue to put Jehovah's first, we have a balanced view of spirituality necessities, right? And that helps us to be spiritually balanced by being sound in mind, by relying on Jehovah God to avoid extremes, and by keeping Him first no matter what we go through, right? Just as Jesus said, he was persecuted, right? We will be persecuted. It's evidence all around the world. Our brothers and sisters go through it, right? We are liable to go through it, right? If we see this system continue to go on long enough, right, we'll be liable to it. So no matter what we go through, no matter what trials we face, uh no matter how we slip on the path, we can rely on Jehovah God to help us, right? Because just as it brings out, right, in the scriptures that Jesus Christ is our helper, right? Jehovah God told us that, as it brings out in First John chapter 2 verse 1. It says, "My little children, I am writing you these things so that you may not commit a sin. And yet, if anyone does commit a sin, we have a helper with the Father, Jesus Christ, a righteous one." So Jehovah knows we have to rely on Him. But if we don't constantly put Him first, we won't trust in that He'll help us overcome anything. We won't trust that He's able to forgive us of anything. We won't trust that when I'm sound in mind and I avoid extremes, I'm doing the things that please Jehovah. I'm showing Jehovah that I'm putting Him first. When I'm making my meetings constantly, right? When I'm in the ministry consistently, right? When I'm making my studies, or if I'm learning the Bible or teaching someone about the Bible, whatever it may be, right? That I'm involving my family in what I'm learning and teaching. That I'm showing that the things I am teaching, I'm trying to apply them to my life. That's how we show Jehovah we're going to put Him first, no matter what, right? Rejecting immoral lifestyles and conduct to please Jehovah, not falling to peer pressure, right? Not falling to the uh the disappointment that your family could have because you are serving Jehovah and you learning the truth, or whatever it may be, right? Not falling to the pressures of Satan's world, but constantly relying on Jehovah and consoling in Him and coming to Him for any and everything. So again, be balanced spiritually by being sound in mind, right? Be spiritually balanced by avoiding extremes, and be spiritually balanced by putting God first, no matter what. And Jehovah will be pleased, and Jehovah will help us, and we will have a righteous spiritual balanced life in these last wicked days. So take care of yourselves, be blessed, and until next time, peace.